Welcome to the 2021 Undergraduate Award Ceremony in the Department of Chemistry and Biochemistry. My name is Janice Reutt-Robey. I'm the chair of the department, and it's my pleasure to welcome our students, friends, and family to today's celebration. It's really a very special pleasure to us to recognize the achievements of our very best students as we wish all of our students success in the future. This year has been a particularly challenging year for all of our students, and I want to really acknowledge all the success that you've had this past year. Over the last several weeks, the members of our Undergraduate Awards and Honors Committee have spent considerable time and effort poring through students' records, through students' theses, and really having a very challenging time of figuring out who all the winners of this year's prizes will be. And so before we begin with the actual honors announcements, I'd like to take a moment to acknowledge the members of the committee. Our committee consists of Jason Kahn, who's chair of the department, Alice Minaray, Christopher Kapp, Bonnie Dixon, Osvaldo Gutierrez, Andre Vedernikoff, and Michael Montague-Smith. They have spent many hours reading through letters of recommendations and papers in order to determine this year's awardees. And before we move to the chair of our honors committee, I'd like to also introduce Mike Montague-Smith, the director of our undergraduate programs, to say a few words. Mike?
Thank you. Welcome, everybody. This is always one of the funnest times of the semester when we get to acknowledge our graduates and the people who were decided to be given awards. This has been a challenging year, and normally when we do this, we have a party with a lot of food, and it's a great deal of fun. But as Dr. Reutt-Robey said, there's a certain level of challenge the last year or so, and so we're going virtual, and we wish you all well. And with that, I'll introduce Dr. Kahn, who will be the overseer of these festivities.
So without further ado, let me launch into this year's award winners. And let me say, we had so many people we could have given awards to. And so this is just a selection of the great students that we have. Our first award, the Russell E. Marker Outstanding Freshman Award, or Fresh Person Award. This award honors an outstanding first-year student, chemistry or biochemistry, and when we get a blue lobby, this is the blue lobby, if you haven't seen it, mostly empty now because the building in which it is housed is going to come down, and so we took the plaques out of the lobby before the wrecking ball hits. But when we have our blue lobby again, there will be plaques in it and people's names on it, and the first awardee is Zoe Shi. And her future plans are to go to medical school. And so terrific first-year student, braving the wilds of Zoom and doing a great job. Our next award, sensibly enough, is for a sophomore, the Nathan Drake Award, sponsored by the Alpha Rho chapter of Alpha Chi Sigma, the chemistry fraternity, and recognizing an outstanding student. And the recipient of the Nathan Drake Award is Joshua Cooksey, whose future is in medicinal chemistry and pharmacology, but he has wide interests. And I want to specifically call him out for being so interactive in Chemistry 277 this year and having his camera on and asking great questions. So thank you very much. And our next award is the James McDonald Stewart Outstanding Sophomore Award. James Stewart was a beloved faculty member in the department for many years, who was a great teacher, and endowed these awards were endowed in his name, and also a great X-ray crystallographer back in the day. And the student will receive a plaque with their name inscribed. And this year's winner is Sarah Ismail, whose future plans are also to go to medical school. Sarah, I believe, won the Russell Marker last year. Okay, and so moving on to the Bernice Doran Stewart Outstanding Female Scientist Award. So Bernice Stewart was James Stewart's wife, a PhD chemist herself. And this year's winner of the Bernice Doran Stewart Female Scientist Award is Katia Beltran, who's double majoring in criminology, and she's been elected the president of the Axe fraternity for next year, and she sees her future in the forensics field. Okay, and also was in the RDisc, about which we will hear more later in the program. The Bruce B. Jarvis Outstanding Junior Award is given to, what do you know, an outstanding junior, named after the inimitable Bruce B. Jarvis, professor emeritus and a former chair of the department. He hired me when I joined. In the background there, you can see some of the 3D molecule creations of Paul Paukstelis in the chemistry atrium. The winner of the Bruce B. Jarvis Outstanding Junior Award is Zachary Wilhelm, whose future is also in medical school. So we congratulate Zachary. And then we have now five awardees that we give to seniors in the department. And this is especially a joy for us because these are students we're choosing among students who have done research with faculty members or have taken several classes, or they're otherwise deeply engaged in the life of the department. And so the senior awards are especially special. The Chemical Society of Washington Award is given each year by the Chemical Society of Washington, and they invite all of the local students to a dinner where from all of the local universities. So dinner this year, of course, being virtual. But this year's awardee from UMD was Pavan Ravindra, who worked in the Tewari lab and has a couple, 3 papers out. And he's a double degree in computer science, won a Goldwater, all sorts of things, highly recognized on campus. And his future plans are to go to Cambridge, England on a Churchill scholarship, and then subsequent to that to go to graduate school. So congratulations to Pavan and for terrific work in the Tewari lab. And then the Royal Society of Chemistry, which is now it used to be the Canadian, now it's the, and British, now it's the worldwide Royal Society of Chemistry, confers a certificate of excellence to honor outstanding undergraduates in chemistry, and they get a subscription to their magazine. And this year's recipient is David Polifrone, who worked in the Gutierrez lab. He's a dual degree in economics, and his plans for next year are to go to do a PhD in organic chemistry at the University of Pennsylvania. So, and I think sometime after that, probably run a chemical company or something like that. And in the background, we see on the left, Wing 3, the wing that houses Dr. Gutierrez's labs, where David did his work. So we honor David, and he's also been awarded other things by the college, as we'll see later. The American Institute of Chemists Award. This is a 2-part award. It goes to one senior in chemistry and one in biochemistry. The recipients get a certificate and associate membership in the American Institute of Chemists, and this is the view out of the biochemistry wing. And the biochemistry winner this year is Christine Zhang, who's a double degree in biochemistry and PhD physiology and neurobiology in the biosci department. And she is heading off to medical school at UT Southwestern next year. So congratulations. And then the chemistry half of the American Institute of Chemists Award goes, and here's the chemistry atrium. Over here, I promise not to gesture with the mouse too much, but over here is the entrance to the new student area of the administrative wing of chemistry, which will be occupied very soon. And our award winner is Alan Mohammed, who is a double degree recipient in chemistry and in cell biology and molecular genetics. And next year, Alan is off to medical school as well at the University of Maryland, Baltimore, just half an hour up the road. And so congratulations to Alan. Alpha Chi Sigma. Alpha Chi Sigma is the chemistry fraternity. We call it AXE. And it's sort of a gathering of for all of the majors who are interested. And so this award consists of a one-year membership in the American Chemical Society, which is our professional organization. And this year's recipient is Rebecca Snellings, who is a double degree in criminology and plans to go to graduate school in the future. Not entirely sure exactly what graduate school. So congratulations to Rebecca for the award. Then we have the Phi Lambda Upsilon is the National Chemistry Honor Society. This is sort of the moral equivalent of Sigma Xi, I suppose, in engineering. And the listed students have all been nominated for membership in Phi Lambda Upsilon. Victor Baumann, Hyung-Yi Ha, Brandon Johnston, Jared Clem, Alan Mohammed, David Polifrone, Pavan Ravinda, Emily Regal, David Rechtman, Emily Robinson, Nicole Ciati, Harshal Shah, Richard Wong, not pictured, Alice Wei, Christine Zhang, and Cheng Zhao. I wish I had time to tell you all about all of the wonderful things that many of these students have done, and going off to their great graduate programs and so forth. But they've been nominated for Phi Lambda Upsilon. And then we have a few awards that are research focused, specifically on different fields of chemistry. And this is a lot of fun because, of course, these are people who typically have worked in our labs in one way or another. So beloved of the faculty members. And the Robert Batista Award for Undergraduate Research in Organic Chemistry. This was set up by the Friends of Robert Batista and given annually to a senior with research interests in organic chemistry. And there will be names on a plaque in the blue lobby, past, present, future blue lobby. Let me say just a couple of words about this year's recipient. Normally when we do awards, we get one or two nominations. Each student gets nominated by one or two faculty members. This person, I think, was at 6 or 7. And so that's a truly remarkable impact on the department. And that impact in the department was through our newly constituted Racial Diversity and Inclusion Committee, the RDISC committee. And the awardee is Mickey Daniel. He did his research in the faculty lab and then was deeply involved in the RDISC and in outreach programs that grew out of that. And his future is in politics right now and possibly the Peace Corps and eventually graduate school. And we're going to ask Jeffrey Davis to say a few words about the mission of the RDISC in the department at this difficult time in the country's history.
A year ago, the murder of George Floyd forced the world to once again recognize the persistence of racism and inequity. The Department of Chemistry and Biochemistry responded last summer by forming a committee known as RDISC, Racial Diversity and Inclusion Steering Committee, a committee composed of 22 individuals from staff, students, and faculty. You're looking at those individuals right now. By denouncing racism and increasing the awareness of systemic barriers that confront Black members of our department, RDISC aims to create and maintain an environment that will be healthy and supportive for all members of the department. Our goals in the last year have been to try to do 3 things. One is to evaluate the climate within the department with an idea of improving, creating, educating opportunity, increasing diversity in the department by recruiting, retaining, and helping grow professionally students and staff and faculty of diverse backgrounds. And then finally, providing inclusion for folks through mentoring, through support, and through professional promotion. We'd like to especially thank the 3 undergraduate members of RDISC who poured so much energy and heart and soul into the work that we did this year. And those 3 members include Katya Beltran, who's a sophomore, Saul Flores, who's a junior, and both Katya and Saul are very active in research in the department, and also active members of Alpha Chi Sigma and the ACS group. And finally, we'd really like to offer our congratulations to Mikhail Daniel, who graduating this semester. Mikhail was the driving force and co-chair of our high school outreach activities in our disc, and I believe will be the next honoree. So once again, thank you very much to the undergraduate members of our disc.
All right, thank you, Jeff. And so congratulations to Mickey. And moving on, we have the Analytical Chemistry Award. This is sponsored, what do you know, by the Analytical Chemistry Division of the American Chemical Society, given to a senior with interest in and aptitude in analytical chemistry, and comes with a journal subscription. And here's the sign for our analytical instrumentation facilities. We're also moving out of that building. It's about to get knocked down into the basement of Wing 5 and various other places. So this is quite an operation going on right now in our department. And the Analytical Chemistry Award goes to Brandon Johnston, who did his research work in Sang-Bok Lee's lab on the chemistry of advanced batteries. And he got into quite some number of graduate programs all around the country and ended up going to a school in Boston, or is planning to go to a school in Boston for his PhD in chemistry, which will have something to do with sustainability, energy, and so forth. Brandon, I believe, last year won the Inorganic Chemistry Award. So congratulations to Brandon. And our next award is the Inorganic Chemistry Award. And the Inorganic Chemistry Award this year goes to Thomas Ersavim, who is earning a double degree in chemistry and physics. He hasn't graduated yet, and so his plan is to get a PhD in condensed matter physics, which almost sounds like chemistry to me, but okay. And so congratulations to Thomas. And then now we're going to move on to departmental honors. So the way one earns departmental honors is to do a thesis, do extensive research with a faculty member, and then do a thesis. And they have to provide the document to us, and we read it and write comments all over it. And then they give a public seminar, and then a public or a private oral defense of the contents of that thesis, which is very much like a qualifying exam for graduate students, just as much fun. So this is really a tremendous achievement to do this, especially this year with all of the challenges of even getting into the lab. So we have 3 students who have earned honors in the department. First is Xiangyi Ha, who worked for Dr. Lai-Shi Wang on manipulating the sugars that decorate antibodies and are important for the efficacy of antibodies, their therapeutic efficacy, lifetime in the blood, and so forth. And her thesis title is Investigating the Effects of Glycosylation on Antigen and Fc Gamma Receptor Binding of HIV Antibody VRC01 through a Glycoengineering Approach. Hyung-Yi is going off to NIH to do a postbac, and then after that, graduate school, medical school, something. And moving on, we have departmental honors in biochemistry. This is Donald Francis D'Ariano III, and he worked in Nicola Ron's lab. And he determined the structure of a co-complex of an inhibitor, a new inhibitor that they collaborated to find, bound to the Reutt-2 kinase enzyme, which is an unusual kinase found in eukaryotes using X-ray crystallography. And it's extremely unusual for an undergraduate to tackle a full-on X-ray crystallography project. And his thesis title was Structural Determination of Human Reutt-2 Kinase in Complex with a Small Molecule Drug Inhibitor. Donald's off to graduate school at West Virginia U and eventually hopes to earn an MD PhD. And then we have a slightly unusual case, departmental high honors in biochemistry, given to somebody who's not actually a biochemistry major. You can do that. So Alvin Luya is actually a biosci major and double majoring in criminology and sees his future as an MD PhD. He also worked in the Laurent lab on biophysical and biochemical studies of the Reutt kinase. So good crystallographers always work in solution as well as in the solid state. And so he was the solution half of that project. I mean, it worked independently of Donald. And his thesis title was biophysical characterization of human Reutt-2 kinase in complex with ERG-I-USU as a small molecule inhibitor. So congratulations to Alvin for high honors in biochemistry, even though he's not majoring in the department. Now we have some fellowships. So these are actually money awards, and they're given out because of the timing. These fellowships supported this past year of work. So these are students who are completing their fellowship year, and some of them are graduating. And so I'd like to recognize the generosity of the people, past and present, who have enabled us to give money to these students, and that this is the most fun meeting of the year when we get to decide who we can give money to. And so the fellowships available in the department are the Isidore and Annie Adler Chemistry Scholarship. This is our first endowed scholarship, and it was established by Annie Adler in memory of her husband, who was on the faculty here. And the awardee receives $1,000 in this past year. And it's given to Yuki New, who is a double degree in business finance and also minoring in humanities, health, and medicine, and plans to be a physician scientist in a few years. So congratulations to Yuki. And I'm sorry if I got the name wrong, even though I asked them for all the pronunciations in the moment. Sometimes it's hard to remember them. I'm sorry. And the G. Forrest Woods Memorial Scholarship was established by Anita Fraser in memory of her husband, who was also on the faculty here. And in fact, in back of our winner, Emily Regal, there used to be a plaque honoring G. Forrest Woods, but that plaque came down to put the new doors in, so it'll go back up somewhere else. And this scholarship provided $1,300 toward educational expenses in the past year. So congratulations to Emily, who's a double degree in biochemistry and then also in micro. And she's graduating and plans to work in the McKeever lab up the hill before going off to graduate school. It's great to support our research students. The Francesco Barone Scholarship is generously funded by the Barone family, and it provided funds for two students who received $3,881 each. And this year, the awards went to Alan Mohammed, who, as we said, is going to medical school at UMB, and Lucas Lee Barry, who is still in our program, and he sees his future as doing a post-bac, probably NIH, and then off to graduate school. So congratulations. And then we have, the Brian Crawford 76 Scholarship, which provided a little over $2,000 toward educational expenses for an outstanding student. And Joseph Willoughby has one of our more unusual backgrounds. He's double majoring in chem and criminology and also minoring in classical mythology. And next year he's off to UT Austin for a PhD in organometallic chemistry and sees his future someday in, well, saving the world through forensics or environmental chemistry, but being of service through science. And so again, such a pleasure to support students who are paying it forward. All right, our next award is the Bruce B. Jarvis Scholarship, named after the same Bruce B. Jarvis, our inimitable former chair. And this year provided $2,144 to Jada Barber, who is also double majoring in criminal justice. And she plans to get a master's in forensics and then hopefully work for a federal crime lab. And so congratulations to Jada for the Bruce B. Jarvis Scholarship. Bruce Jarvis was a physical organic chemist, but toward the end of his career was very involved in essentially the forensics of sick buildings, so molds and whatnot. And so I think this is an appropriate award. And the Wilson H. Power and Eleanor Power Scholarship is new this year, and this provided $2,000 I'm sorry, that each is a typo, $2,000 towards the educational expenses for an outstanding student majoring in chem or biochem. And the awardee was Lauren Joe, whose double degree was in chemistry and then also in chemical and biomolecular engineering across the street. And she's off to Northwestern University to their PhD program in chemistry and plans to focus on some aspect of materials chemistry. So congratulations to Lauren. And then we have 2 awardees for the ACS Hawk Land Grant Scholarship. So this is a very generously funded program from the American Chemical Society to support people who intend to be secondary school chemistry teachers, because there is a crying need for really good secondary school chemistry teachers out there in the world. And so one of our awardees this year is Annika Ritchie, who's minoring in Spanish as well as majoring in chemistry, and she plans to do an integrated master's in science education here at UMD and then go off to teach chemistry. So we are so pleased to help her on that journey. And our second Hawk Award winner is Jonathan Brodsky, who was also a member of the Gemstone program besides being a chemistry major, and his plans include graduate training and then eventually teaching chemistry. So congratulations to Jonathan. And then we have, so that's the Hawk Award, Hawk Land Grant Scholarships. The last thing we want to recognize, our students win many awards outside of the department. And some of them we just list, and some of them are listed in the program, but we do want to recognize people who earn Phi Beta Kappa, because that is unusual. So that Phi Beta Kappa is the oldest and most widely respected academic honorary society in the United States. And we don't decide the honorees. That's decided at the campus level. So Committee on Campus chose Victor Baumann, Nicole Schiatti, and Alice Way, pictured here, for Phi Beta Kappa. So congratulations to them. And then we do want to just list and recognize other awards won by our undergrads and also the graduating graduate students. There's a separate ceremony for them, but we do want to show their names because many of them will be familiar to many of you who are watching this program. So you've had them as TAs or lab mates and so forth. And so the university awards on the left were given to our students. You can see Pavan Ravinda's history there, and David Polifron and David Rechtman, recognized with the 2021 Maryland Medallion Society. David Rechtman going off to medical school at UPenn. And I won't read off the names of the graduate students, but you can read them there. So congratulations to our newly minted master's degree holders and doctors of philosophy. Now I would like to switch back over to Dr. Reutt-Robey to introduce the Robert Rowan Award winner. So we're done with, we're taking a pause from our undergraduates and moving on to the Rowan Award inside the department. So go ahead, please.
Thank you, Jason. So the Rowan Award is a very special award in the department that was set up some years ago by the family of Robert Rowan III. Robert Rowan III was a longtime faculty member in our department in the 1970s. And what he realized, and what many of us realize and understand, is that a department cannot function without dedicated service from the faculty and staff in the department. So the Rowan Award is a service award that recognizes the important contributions of a member of the department. And this year, the recipient receives a cash prize. This year, the Rowan Award is bestowed to Downing Zhang. Downing Zhang, many of you will know as the manager of the BioNMR facility. In this capacity, he basically keeps these very sophisticated NMR instruments going. He helps students design experiments. He helps students do their experiments. And this past year, he's kept the BioNMR facility not only running, but basically running at kind of even a higher than usual level. I think, I think during the pandemic, if you can believe it, he's increased the usage of the facility by almost 50%. additionally, he went out and solicited a grant. He got a major grant from the National Institute of Health to upgrade the facility with new specialized instrumentation to measure the structures of biological molecules. So we're very proud of and very appreciative of Downing's service to the department, and we'd like to recognize him as this year's Robin Rowan Memorial Award winner. Congratulations, Downing.
All right, and so now we're going to switch over to Michael Montague-Smith, who's going to say a few words about our graduating class as a whole. And so here is the list of all of our Bachelor's of Science degree recipients. And Michael.
Thank you. So I've been the director of undergraduate programs for almost 18 years now, and one of the great fun things that I've done many, many times is go to our college graduation, where one of the traditions is that every graduate in the college gets their name called out and walks across the stage, and they get handed something or other, and then they get to shake the hands of the deans and so forth. And it's all a lot of fun. Unfortunately, we have no stage, we have no dean, but what I can do is I can read off all the names of our graduates. And let me just say that in the time I've been doing this, we have consistently had just outstanding graduates. And this class is no exception. We usually graduate about 80 or 90 people a year. This year we have 80. And so with that introduction, I'm going to read off their names, and I apologize in advance for any errors in pronunciation. I have some people who provided phonetic pronunciations, but a number of people didn't. So if I screw up your name, well, I'm trying. All right. So with that said, let me begin. Mater Abate. And the way this usually works is every time someone's name is called, there's a pause while they walk across the stage and everyone claps and hoots and hollers. So I'm going to try and follow that. I'll say the name, give a 2-beat, and go on to the next one. Does that sound good? So Daniel Abibi, Roma Adu Osi, Rebecca Amaya Escobar, Tiffany Andokau, Paul Anderful, Jared Baker, Jamila Baines, Victor Bauman, Joshua Bisty Reedman, Danghua B, Annabelle Capino, Justin Chang, Nancy Chen, Lauren Cho, Mikhail Daniel, Donald Dariano, Michael Davis, Kyle Dang, Simone D'Souza, Angelo Diaz Molina, Josiah Ekong, Dana Evans, Harrison Gleitz, Jack Graziano, Jordan Griffith, Kaylin Grossier, Wengi Ha, Michael Ha, Emily Hawkins, Callista Hippolito, Nicole Holtquist, Brandon Johnson, Sarah Joyce, Daejong Kim, Jared Clem, and thank you, Jared, for notifying us that your name is pronounced the way it's spelled. Muse Legisi, Selena Liu, Joyce McCory, Elvis Martinez Garcia, Aaron McConney, Thomas McCuster, Caitlin Middlebrooks, Niku Misa Gain, Alan Mohammed, Clancy Moreno, Jordani Nelson, Thachvu Nguyen, Funiba Ngwa, Tyvon Odzrig, Avril Akon, Jennifer Ortiz, Rajivi Patel, David Porferon, Martin Ravane, Pavan Ravinda, Forrest Raleigh, Emily Regal, David Rieckmann, Jeffrey Revinson, Emily Robinson, Sierra Rochelle, Jake Rossetto, Taylor Rothbaum, Victoria Ritigliano, Nicole Sciatti, Harshal Shah, Maya Smith, Mary Suzuki, Amna Tariq, Daibao Van, Zachary Volker, Richard Wang, Alice Wee, Joseph Willoughby, Cindy Shi, David Shu, Mushin Yunus, Christine Zhang, Chen Cheng Zhao, and Huijing Zhou. Congratulations to all of you.
And we have a few pictures to show of our graduates. And I will provide these to all of you with names and so forth after in good time. I don't have the names here, but you all know each other, so you can see who's here.
Congratulations again on your wonderful accomplishments. At this point in the ceremony, if we were meeting in person, this would be the time where we would get a chance to meet and congratulate you all directly, and most importantly, get the chance to meet your parents. I hope that since we can't do this in person this year, over the coming short or long term, you'll take the opportunity to come back and visit the department. Remember, you are always forevermore members of our family in the community of the Department of Chemistry and Biochemistry. So we look forward to you meeting with you again. And as you continue on your journeys, please drop us a line. We are always here to support you. And I think over the next few years, as you see our building, one of our buildings torn down and a new building crashed up, built up, we hope to create a number of opportunities for you to come back in campus so that we can meet again in person. So congratulations again.